dating that used to look like this. Now it looks like this.
According to Inside Higher Ed, 50% of all college students are the first in their family to go to college, and 50% of those graduate on time. A third of all first-generation college students drop out within 3 years. Thanks, Chase. It's a beautiful day out here in Columbia. There's not a cloud in the sky, but this weekend, Hurricane Delta is making its way through the Gulf Coast, leaving us with some rain. I'll have more about that later. Back to you guys. We have an update on the race just into the newsroom. Graham and Harrison have a scheduled debate for Friday night. The debate will happen at 7 here in Columbia and will be broadcast on SCE TV. This will be the second and final debate between the two candidates. Live in the newsroom, I'm Lovianna Blackwell. Back to you guys in the studio. In an environment like a college campus where some students aren't necessarily being safe, stopping the spread of COVID-19 is important.
I would get tested if I were you. And I have to get tested to go home anyways, because my family wants me to.
Now more than ever, the university is pushing for students to get tested before they leave for Thanksgiving break.
We know that a lot of our students do plan to travel for the holidays, to go back home for Thanksgiving. And we want to make sure that if they're doing that they're not bringing the virus home with them.
The biggest problem with the spread of COVID-19 right now is the lack of testing, but the University of South Carolina is fortunate enough to have this quick and easy saliva test that they've developed. So the general consensus on campus is to get tested.
So we're starting to see that second wave come in, so it's probably better to get tested.
Just to make sure that you don't have it, because a lot of times people have it and don't even realize it. Like they think it's a cold or something, and it can just be spread to, I don't know, family members, especially because the holidays are coming up.
I don't really celebrate the holidays so much, so I think it's important all the time.
And the university is meeting the demand for testing to make sure everyone has the access they need.
There has been an uptick, and I think over just the last couple days we've seen about 800, which is above where we were. We still have additional capacity.
Getting tested regularly is part of the solution. For Carolina News,
Drink a lot of water, eat a lot of garlic, and avoid people.
I'm Lovianna Blackwell. It's cuffing season and everyone's looking for love.
It's the time of year where, the weather gets cold, it gets dark early, and people just want to have someone to snuggle up to.
But Tiara Thompson had a hard time meeting people during the pandemic before finding her boyfriend on Hinge.
I feel like I did feel more alone just because of the physical, quarantining and isolating and all of that.
Social distancing doesn't mean you can't be social. It just looks a lot different now. Dating that used to look like this. Now it looks like this.
And dating apps have been an effective way to mingle. Subscriptions to match group apps went up 15% last quarter during the pandemic.
That's one thing that dating apps are good for. They're great for just starting random conversations with new people, which is always good. And, just seeing where it goes. And, even if you don't talk the next day, at least you were entertained by the conversation for however long it lasts.
Dr. Merck teaches the psychology of marriage at U of SC, and she understands the need to mingle.
If you're single and you're isolated at home, a dating app is at least a place to begin some interesting conversations. It definitely gives you a virtual outlet.
It's an outlet for romance and new beginnings, even in a pandemic. For Carolina News, I'm Lovianna Blackwell.
Are y'all ready to send Lindsey Graham home?
Last night, supporters came out to show their enthusiasm for U.S. Senate candidate Jamie Harrison in a unique way. There was a drive-in-style concert and rally for Harrison at the Charlie W. Johnson Stadium at Benedict College, and Common was the main performer.
How you love America when you loving it wrong?
With just 8 days until the election, every last effort is important for this campaign.
Jamie's really got a grassroots movement. We've got people that are Democrats, people are Republicans, because it's not really about that. It's about what's right and what's wrong. That's why there's going to be a great showing tonight. It's so great that Common can come out and support.
Incumbent Senator Lindsey Graham has held the position since 2003, but Harrison's campaign is strong. Harrison broke the record for fundraising for any Senate candidate, and he's neck and neck with Graham in the polls.
because where you all see me all over the place, he sees me in his nightmares. I am living rent-free in Lindsey Graham's head right now.
The importance of voting by mail, voting early in person, and voting on Election Day was stressed by local politicians throughout the night.
Shock the world and send Jamie Harrison to Washington, D.C., arm in arm with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We can do it, Columbia. We can do it. Show up, show out on November 3rd.
And before Common came out to close out the night, Harrison had one last message.
So the motto for South Carolina, the motto for all of you over the next 8 days is, while I breathe, I vote, because that is how we bring hope back to South Carolina.
We have an update on the race just into the newsroom. Graham and Harrison have a scheduled debate for Friday night. The debate will happen at 7 here in Columbia and will be broadcast on SCE TV. This will be the second and final debate between the two candidates. Live in the newsroom, I'm Lovianna Blackwell. Back to you guys in the studio.